Good morning. My name is Kathy Lynn Coe. I'm the president of the board of Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation, and I am thrilled to be here. As you've heard, the Immigration Station Foundation is the official Friends organization that helped raise the funds to restore the site, as you will see later today. And we will continue to work in close partnership with the California State Parks, with the National Park Service, and Ellis Island, and all of you who are here. Excuse me if I get emotional during this ceremony. There are many people who have been on this journey far longer than I over these last 30 years. But in the 10 years that I've been involved, it has really quite been a labor of love, as it has been for everyone involved. And today is literally a dream come true. Before I go any further, I think it is really important that we acknowledge the people who came through the island. And we do have a group of detainees here. If you can stand, please do, but if you can't, please honor the detainees who have been through the island. Today is really in honor of your spirit and your courage, so thank you very much. I once heard a speaker talk about cathedral builders. These were people, artisans, guildsmen, who took their task seriously and tended to the work before them, even though they knew full well that a cathedral would take 50 and even 100 years to build, and it would be not something that they would see in their own lifetime. Cathedral builders are inspired by something greater than themselves, a purpose that their work will have legacy and permanence beyond their short lifespan. So today, I want to honor our own cathedral builders among us. These are very special people. If you would stand when I name your name, please. Alexander Reese, Dorothea Tarr, and Phil Choi. As you heard, Alexander was the park ranger that found the poems and understood the significance of them when he came upon them, when the building was scheduled for demolition. Dorothea is one of our founders, and her husband, Paul Chow, was our first executive director, and the spirit and vision, he carried the vision of our organization. Unfortunately, Paul is not here with us any longer, but I know he smiles down upon us. Thank you, Dorothea, for being here. And Phil Choi is a renowned architect and Chinese-American historian who submitted the application for the National Historic Landmark designation. And Phil, I don't know if you're here, but thank you very much. That started us on the journey for the last 10 years. So thank you very much for being here. There are so many people to thank. There is a printed program of listing all the people we want to acknowledge. I don't know where it went, but if you can find it, please look at this enormous list of people. Too many to acknowledge in a morning ceremony, but I would be remiss if I didn't recognize a few people. For the site, we've had the privilege of working with many sponsors and very special partners. Many of them are elected officials. Senator John Burton and especially his staff person Mary Schallenberger were the ones that secured us the first $15 million from the state and really helped launch the project that we will see today. Of course, our U.S. Senators, Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer, our Representative Lynn Woolsey, Speaker Pelosi, Mike Honda, and many members of Congress also supported us. Of course, is the state parks staff, led by Ruth Coleman, who you'll hear from in a moment, and we've worked with wonderful Angel Island superintendents, Tom Lindberg, Jim Burke, Nick Franco, Roy McNamee, Tina Williams, and now Dave Matthews. And we have two very special staff, state park staff, who we wouldn't be here without them, is Don Bidey and Casey Lee. The National Park Service, as you heard from Brian, have been very special partners, and we want to acknowledge that very special relationship. And also thank Ray Murray for all of his work in the early days. The National Historic Trust for Historic Preservation, represented today, I believe, by Anthea Hartig, wherever Anthea is, and the Save America's Treasures program. They really got us started. And Elizabeth Goldstein and the California State Parks Foundation are important partners. And also Angel Island Association, Suzanne Badenhoof, I hope you're here, and our other friends organization on the island. We wouldn't be able to do our work without these special partners. Also, there have been a number of funding partners, many individuals, families, corporations, and foundations who have supported us over the years. But I really need to acknowledge 4 very special funders who have really sustained the organization over these last 10 or 12 years. Tom Layton at the Wallace Alexander Gerbode Foundation, Sylvia Yee at the Evelyn and Walter Haas Jr. Fund, Dr. Sandra Hernandez with the San Francisco Foundation, and Don Jen, Mark Rand, Dr. Tom Peters, and especially Mike Rose at the Marin Community Foundation. They have really meant the world to us. Thank you. The actual site work would not have been gotten to this place without numerous paid professional but also volunteer time. Many people who donated many hours. But I just want to acknowledge a few. Doug Tom with Elliot Fish Tom. Architectural Resources Group, Stephen Farnett and his great team, fantastic team of conservators and architects. And Daniel Kwan Design. Dan also is not only a former board president, but also designed all the interpretive work at the site. No organization would function without its leadership, and over the last 20 plus years, the Immigration Station Foundation has had the privilege of having amazing board members, too many to name. But I'd like to ask all current and former board members to please stand so we can acknowledge your contributions. And of course, no organization could function without its dedicated staff. We've really had wonderful leadership and staff at the Immigration Station Foundation. Catherine Toy, point to stand, Daphne Clark, and of course our current Executive Director, Eddie Vaughn. Thank you. Today also marks the beginning of the next phase of the work. Yes, there are more phases. We need you to help support us. We need you to help raise funds to extend our work to the hospital building, which is right behind us. We need to save the hospital building, which is literally crumbling from the inside out. It will become an exhibition space to tell the stories of almost 90 different nationalities who came here through the island, to serve as a place of research for family histories and as a conference center. We need volunteers to help with outreach, to find stories of these 90 communities, Japanese, Russian, Korean, and so many more, or to host informational and educational parties. And of course, we need donors to sustain our work. We need you to tell friends about what you saw here today and how you were moved by the experience and to come and visit the site. The Immigration Station is a site of conscience about immigration, past, present, and future. It is a place for reflection on not only the very special personal immigration experience, but also in international relations, as the Consul General spoke about, and social justice. And it is a place of reconciliation for the wrongs that were done and the human rights that we all must uphold. For this is a part of our national American experience, important enough to be designated as one of the highest distinctions in the land with the National Historic Landmark. We at the Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation are so very appreciative of all the support that all of you have shown over the years, not just today coming out in the rain. And we really depend on you to continue to support our work by contributing, volunteering, and speaking about the place. This is a compelling story that needs to be told in its entirety. How this immigration experience is at the heart of the American story, and that this is a national symbol for Pacific immigration. I look at today's amazing attendance, and you will see when you get into the barracks all the work that has gone into it. I think of my own immigrant family, and I honor my parents who came across an ocean filled with courage and perhaps a bit of fright. And I think of my own children, and my daughter was telling me, wishing me luck for today, and saying that the immigration station work that we and all of us here today have done is not only for her generation, but for generations to come, perhaps for her own children. And I had never seen it in quite such a personal term. And in that moment, I realized that I too had become a cathedral builder, and I was moved to tears. Thank you.